I have two more, but anything, Daryl, that you want to add to what I've shared already that you know from
Well,
those?
yeah, I would just say that one of the things that struck me is you mentioned some of, like, it seems simple: get enough sleep, eat right, those types of things. But like when you're in it, when you're depressed or anxious or both, those are some of the first things to get neglected or overlooked or forgotten. And all of this stuff, so much of this stuff is just a vicious cycle. Like, I know, for instance, I mean, I don't know if it necessarily caused it, but when I had burnout last summer, which kind of led me into my most recent prolonged major bout with these issues, I probably wasn't paying attention to my sleep because I've got three kids, I've got at least one job, I've got a lot of a lot
Going
of
on.
things, a lot of hobbies that I'm passionate about. I want to cram all these things in. So I would, sleep would kind of be, well, if I don't get 7 or 8 tonight, whatever, I'll just power through that, or I'll get an extra strong coffee, which is another thing I love. But then also, like, so if you don't take care of yourself, that can make it easier to fall into these traps, and then something small becomes something big, and you unravel, and it snowballs, and it just builds and builds the wrong direction. But also, sometimes when I've been anxious, I haven't been able to sleep, or when I've been depressed, I've felt very, very tired, and all you want to do is sleep. And then sometimes when you're anxious, you don't feel like eating. You can't stomach it. When you're depressed, you don't. You just don't want to get off the couch and go through the effort to get to the kitchen and get something to eat. So, these things, like, they seem simple self-care stuff that you should do every day, but either depression and anxiety can affect them, or you ignoring them can make the depression and anxiety worse. And again, like, it kind of snowballs. And you mentioned, being connected to people. It's very easy when you're not feeling well to just kind of isolate yourself and cut yourself off and feel sorry for yourself. And that's okay. I don't put it that way as a judgment that that's a bad thing. That's just something that happens.
Right.
So, sometimes you don't want to take the effort to reach out to somebody, but it definitely, one simple message could make your whole day seem brighter. So that is important. And then the only thing I would add to the move idea is, this kind of happened as a product of, we mentioned I found the golf passion as positive through this summer, to the point where I actually picked up a bunch of part-time shifts at a local course. And that job has required me to walk a lot. And I would, there would be times where I would make sure I'd leave something further away to force me to take extra steps or whatever. But through the course of maybe 3 months or so, I had lost 20 pounds. And I had checking my health app on my phone, like on the busy days, I might walk upwards of 6 miles while I'm there. So, but, the exercise works, and that whole thing, being active made me feel better, but then also certainly seeing tangible results made me feel a lot better. So that's all part of it. Just kind of jumping back and forth. Those are some of my experiences
Yeah.
with these items, some pitfalls that I've had, but then also some attention to those items that has helped me.
Yeah. No, and that's, to me, that's helpful, Daryl, for you to share that. I appreciate you sharing that, because these tips, are going to sometimes take a lot of energy to be able to do even one of them. So, and you hit on some things, some really important points too. So if someone's depressed, someone who's anxious, the appetite can go up and down. So it can vary, and motivation typically doesn't go up. It typically, can take a hit and go down. Someone who's depressed, you mentioned this. I mean, again, I think you're speaking absolutely what others will absolutely share and connect with if they're going through a really depressed time. Sometimes it's hard to get out of bed. It's hard to put the feet on the floor. And when you ask someone to go out and be social with someone, to connect with someone, that doesn't always, because our natural inclination when we're depressed sometimes is I'd rather just kind of stay by myself under the covers today. I don't even want to put my feet on the floor. I don't want to get out of my PJs. I'm good right here. And so it's important to acknowledge that. And it's also, to me, it's an opportunity to say, this is where I'm at right now. And then working toward being able to chip away at that, to be able to, okay, today I need to make sure I put my feet on the floor. I need to also get out of my PJs. I need to make sure I need to then get downstairs and get breakfast and whatever that is. And so I'm not hungry. So I need to at least hydrate, get some water, those kinds of things. So all of those things that you're pointing out, absolutely. This list that we're sharing is not foolproof by any means. It's not that, oh my gosh, I need to do all 9 of these and I have to be an expert. But these are just reminders that they're important to continue to work at. And, the walking, so exercise, walking, it's been touted as the natural antidepressant. So there's tons of research that shows that the more I move, the more I have exercise in my life, and that can be lifestyle exercise, the better I'm going to feel, the less anxious I'm going to feel, the less stressed I'm going to feel, and the less depressed I'm going to feel. Time and time again, that's been demonstrated. So all good points. I know we're getting closer to that time where we keep saying, hey, these are the 9 to know. We're going to have this list for everyone. We did 2 the first time. And, I think we've done 5 more now. We're oh so close to the finish line. And I also know we're almost out of time, and there are 2 more on the list. How do you want to handle it, Daryl?
Well, just real quick, I just want to mention that in some of my previous bouts, the only outlet that I had was walking. And I would do it with earbuds in, trying to raise the mood. That was the only thing I could find that helped. And sometimes just going to the kitchen and getting a drink can be exhausting. So if you're feeling that, you're not alone. One step at a time, 1 foot forward. Why don't we tease what the final 2 are, just so people know, and then we'll pick it up in our first segment next time.
Awesome. I think it's an appropriate one now, so I'll touch on it, and then we can make sure we follow up, because I think it's worth following up again. So given where we are right now, we talked about this even before we went live on the air and started doing our thing here today. Daryl, we talked a little bit about just the anxiety and the stress we're feeling with the election. So what ends up happening sometimes is we are flooded with information, social media, news media, particularly on the election, 24/7. You can find out all kinds of information. And if you have news feeds and you're scrolling on social media, it's right there at your hand. So tip number 8, limit and take breaks from media and social media and news. People sometimes will say, but I need to be informed. I need to be informed. That's not the message. We want to be informed. We want to be informed with factual sources of truth, which sometimes right now I've had many conversations. Mike, I don't even know what to believe anymore. There's so much information out there. I don't even know what to believe anymore. And so, yes, I get that. I hear you. But it's also going to be very important to limit and take breaks. Be informed, know your sources, and be thoughtful about those kinds of things in terms of what you're taking to be truth, but limit and take breaks.
Except
the other one is
watch our show. Except our show.
Yeah, there we go. Yes. If you can hang in there with us, we're looking to give you, some passion and some information and the best we can to kind of share kind of real, genuine kind of stories, and also, things that are based on research. The last thing before I know we got to go. So the last tip: reach out for support when you need it. Not a sign of weakness, a sign of strength. So it's leaning on one another so that others can help lift us when we need them. And we can do that for others. So that's it for today. I look forward to another conversation soon, next week.
Thank you, Mike. Can't wait. Have a great week, and we'll talk to you for episode 6 next Monday.
Awesome. Sounds good. Take care.
For more information on WellSpan Philhaven's tips for good mental health, featuring amazing online tools and apps, as well as tips on staying calm during the pandemic, and videos sharing proven tips on self-care and supporting others during the ongoing pandemic, visit wellspanphilhaven.org. For information on WellSpan's Employee Assistance Program, visit wellspaneap.org. If this is an emergency or you are considering harming yourself, please contact Crisis Intervention at 1-800-673-2496. Additional support is available through the National Suicide Lifeline by calling 1-800-273-8255 or by texting TALK to 741-741. These resources are staffed by crisis professionals and are available 24/7. It's always okay to reach out for help. You're not alone.